Next we'll be dealing with the green elephant. Oh yeah, by the way, the green elephant, the violet bat, and the cyan shark are all part of the Transforming Roar Max Megazord set. These individual sets have stupid names on them, but I suppose it's needed for trademark reasons. Posability is a little more limiting on the green elephant. The hips all still rotate. They ratchet quite nicely every 45 degrees, both forward and backwards. You can see here. The trunk is made of PVC, so you can bend it in all kinds of interesting places. I believe I did this once on YouTube. By the way, you hear that? Here's the interesting thing. I haven't had a rattle in many a long decade, about 25 decades, but don't ask me why. This has a rattle on it. Very unusual. Very unusual. And it just fits in there like so. Because of the transformation, you've got a little flexibility also in the ears. And I mean just a little flexibility in the ears. Why do they have that in there? I don't know why they have that in there. Pull the head off. Yes, you pull off. Transformation, again, is identical to the deluxe size version. I'll save that for later. Front half and the back half actually are different. And really, one side has the screws in it, the other side doesn't. So you can put it onto the Megazord and not have to worry about the screws showing up. Now, the one problem that I'll be highlighting in a moment here with this transition is that with this new shoulder armor, that just snaps in, with this new shoulder armor, it loses some of that flexibility in the shoulder. While I don't really like that, I don't see how they could really have avoided losing that flexibility in the shoulder armor. This is the Jungle Pride Megazord with elephant power. Actually, I've grown kind of attached to this one. I like it a lot more now than I did when I was just watching it in the show. In Japan, of course. Because of the limited flexibility in the shoulders, you can only ratchet forward and backwards. Why is that shoulder armor popping off now in front of millions of people on the internet? God! I don't know why it's misbehaving itself now. Okay, you know, I'm just going to demo with the other side. Okay, so there's your answer. Don't grab onto the shoulders when you're moving it. The arms still ratchet like that, but the flexibility of the armor in here. The head, I noticed there's one little oddity I found, and that is the head is actually twisted halfway. I can actually keep pushing, and you can see that the head starts looking upwards and kind of hides the eyes, so it actually snaps into a lower position. So it can twist a little further, even though it's not supposed to. So I kind of like it. And the green elephant was the first armor swap. Yeah, by the way, as opposed to individual weapons or whatever it is, the flail, you know, the elephant flail or whatever it is it uses here, the Jungle Pride Megazord with elephant power is the first Zord combination that utilizes armor upgrades as opposed to the limb swapping chaos from the last 7 years. So this kind of takes the series off in a whole new direction, which is kind of interesting. Next we'll be dealing with the bat, violet bat. It's like violet, some stupidly long name or whatever it is. Some of the function, the bat is actually the one that received the most modifications from the deluxe sized version, which is kind of surprising. There is no second wing joint here. The wings from here, from this joint out, the wings are completely solid PVC. It's all one part. It's you can see it's very flexible. The other thing is that these wing segments, the blades no longer flip up and down. The head can no longer, which is made of PVC, again. The head can no longer tilt up and down, which I thought was kind of bad. And the legs no longer fold apart, or whatever it is. The only function I kept was the one that I actually thought was the weakest, and was these arrow missiles, which are push powered. They're not springs. They're kind of weak, actually. Yeah, it goes far because I had to fall off of the shooting shelf, but they're not very powerful at all. They just some little ball thing there on the end. You just push up on it, as I've demonstrated twice, and that's it. The only joints, the only feature that the wings have, they ratchet very nicely every 45 degrees. Yeah, some of the paint is missing along the, the purple here, the orange and silver here, but otherwise it turned out pretty well. So even though the bat is my favorite in the series, it's my favorite upgrade, I should say, the toy, it didn't do too badly in the transition. So the deluxe version had more features, but this one, it's not a bad transition at all. And now for the transformation. The transformation has a few modifications. Ordinarily you'd be twisting and turning the wing joints or whatever it is, and then you'd pop out a pair of handles. Well, or no, the handles would actually be on this side. You know, you'd fold apart, the legs would fold apart and the head would fold down. Oh yeah, one thing I noticed, the transforming Jungle Pride Megazord set, the electronics are missing on it, so it doesn't have the button up here that you would hold for its super kick, savage spin and super kick. Wow, those riders are top notch. But oddly, even though there's no button here, there's an indent in the back for a phantom button. One could call it a Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace. God, did I just go there? Okay, there's a crossover promotion that really sucks. The things here are also flexible PVC. One thing I noticed with this guy that I didn't with all others, oh yeah, this is the Jungle Pride Megazord with bat power. Wahaha. One of the things I noticed about the Jungle Pride Megazord with bat power, God, the writers of Disney, holy smokes. It's a little on the back heavy side. It tips over very easily. So and this is not in the instructions. What you can do is just pull out the legs, yak, and then it can lean back a good ways. So that's something I do when it's actually stored like that. So oh, that's right. The arms, because the handles, they completely redesigned the wings, so there are no handles for it to hang on to. You can tilt it inward like that, but the joint has not twisted the full 45 degrees yet, so you can make it look like that, but that doesn't mean that the wings are going to come any closer to it. Even if you tilt this 45, tilt this 45, you can still see that wing is not going to touch it. So while it was a strange kind of paragliding feature in the series, I'm wondering, I'm still kind of tossed or debating whether or not it was a good feature to remove those or not. So the other thing is, because the wings are PVC one piece, you can't tilt these down like you used to, so that they can be used as those fan blades or whatever they are in the series. Put that there so you can see it as I turn off the camera. One other small aside here, and this only appears once in the series. What you can do is take the cheetah off, and I'm not certain, this is probably the Wolf Pride Megazord with bat power rather than the Jungle Pride Megazord with bat power. Flying spin, super kick, blah 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 blah. The shark! Oh, the shark, my favorite of them all. No, seriously, the shark looks cool, but it doesn't really do anything. The big difference, though, just as the tiger lost its fanny pack, the shark lost its glowing gills. This is not a battery-powered thing like the deluxe-sized version is. So these are painted in. And I saw somebody comment that the transparent window there was green. Trust me, friend, it's actually blue. It's supposed to be blue. But this has no LEDs in it. This has all been painted up. So really the only flexibility in it is these things turn. These things, these side fins, were a devil of a thing to put on there. It took me about 2 minutes to put each one on. You really got to fight to put them on. So I'm not going to put them back. I'm not going to take them off and put them back on. It's definitely not something I'm going to do. Garlic! I'm going to pull something a little different here. The shark, it transforms in the same fashion as the deluxe size version. You fold down the head. By the way, that looks stupid. Well, no, actually, the big difference though is that it's got 5 small pegs around the outside, but the only thing that really holds it together is this thing here and this thing here. Now, the transformation is different. This is like the bat. This one was kind of heavily modified. Pull that up, close it up. Now the difference is, now you're not going to have a big old shark head on top. It uses, instead of shoulders or attaching, excuse me, to the neck, it attaches to these shoulder joints here. Just put that down right on top. Now, this is really the only editing thing I'm going to do differently, because I have to fight this thing tooth and nail. It doesn't have any handles that fold out. It's got these little tubes, which kind of sort of lock into this position, and all you have to do, and this applies to the deluxe size version as well. The difference is usually there's a handle that it slides into, or it attaches here. Yeah, okay. Usually it just attaches and then you slip the handle in. Well, unfortunately, because of these connecting joints, it is very difficult to put those on. I mean, I have to fight this thing, and it's really frustrating. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the camera off, and when we come back, I'll have those attached. The Jungle Pride Megazord with shark power. Actually, it took me about 5 minutes to get this thing attached. It's not the left side that gives me the problem, it's the right side that gives me the most problems. And I have to be very, very careful. You can kind of see the connection joint here. It's just barely hanging on right now. And really, that's one of my... These blades, quote-unquote blades, are the biggest hassle I have with the entire set. The biggest hassle I have. The fins are molded. The tail, I'm sorry, is molded in as part of the blade, as part of the arm attachment, so it can't twist and back and forth. The tail's actually painted, so let's see. You can carefully, and I mean carefully, tilt this forward. Shakeen! And, yeah, that's about it. And then you can still spread the arms out like this, and it'll something like that through the water. I don't know what it's called. I don't watch Power Rangers. Why am I covering this? You'll find out soon.